Bruno, captain of Newcastle United, is due to leave Newcastle. Who will be his replacement? That was close. Who will be his replacements? What more for the project to bring? Where is the project at? The Newcastle project at? Find out all this and more on Toon Tactics TV, folks.
Brilliant from Share. And now Murphy could take on the shot. Fabian Share
Ooh, how are you all doing, guys? Had to get a nice cool drink. There's going to be a lot of talking today, as there is anyway, podcasting, isn't it? With shows. But I am excited about tonight's show. A lot of work is gone into today's show in terms of research and everything else. So we're going to be talking all things Bruno Guimarães exit. That appears to be drawing nearer and nearer and closer to completion. We are going to be talking about the impact of that on this channel, though. On this channel, and I want to, for me, guys, and you guys, let me know, because we've had this kind of conversation before. Because on this channel, I like to think, and I believe this to be the case, that this is not news to us in terms of big players leaving, in terms of exits, in terms of transfers, and all these type of things. Just one moment, guys. I need to close my door, but it's when I get back. But as I was saying, the transfers of big players leaving. We've been talking about exits. We have been talking about throughout the show. We've been talking about exits. We've been talking about who the players, who the folks that could be leaving are since January. I remember my man James is a big contributor, big member of our show, even reminded me we've been talking about the policy of Newcastle United, of the owners that have been talking about potential exits, how the team is going to change. If you guys remember, it's even on my channel, you can find it. There's a show actually we'll talk about the 8-man purge, where since around January, February times, we've been talking about how Newcastle's summer is likely to look with the potential exits of everybody else, and we have we've got countless of you will see on the screen in terms of folks that we believed, so especially some of our blue chip players that we believe were going to be leaving, the likes of Tonali, Gordon, and others. We was hoping obviously Bruno would stay, but obviously that's not meant to be. We didn't predict also that our manager will be going as well, which has also happened. So you can never predict things. But I mention that to say this. It is all part of a journey in terms of everything that the club is going through and what is happening. It's painful for sure. Don't get me wrong. But it is all about also growth and development in terms of the team, in terms of the club, and everything that's going forward. So looking forward to tonight's show. We will be talking about right now tons of news actually. Even whilst we're talking, there's tons of news coming in. So we're going to talk about the Bruno exit. We are going to do scouting reports on Mr. Luka Sucic and on Mr. I can't pronounce his surname, Forholdt, the dynamic number 8 who currently plays for Porto. So we're going to be talking about them, getting an idea about them. Some of you guys have seen some of my posts and visuals on my X account about these guys. So you guys would already have an idea about what those players are about. But we'll be talking about them in more detail. James, good to see. Oh, sorry, big up my man 532 Pod. God bless you. I don't know if it's your first time to the show. If it's not, my apologies, but welcome. God bless you. James, good to see you. I was just talking about you. I was just letting folks know we've been talking about transfers since you reminded me that we've been talking about transfers since January, and we've been talking about the overall strategy and planning for these transfers. That in this show, we've been talking about the potential of exits around your Gordons, your Tonalis, your Livramentos, folks like that. Obviously, we couldn't predict, we weren't trying to, but we couldn't predict everything. We couldn't predict, Bruno going. We couldn't predict Eddie Howe going. But I said all of that to say that this has given us preparation for this transfer window, in terms of being ready, being prepared for everything going forward. So it's good to see you here doing that. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into the whole. First of all, let's get into just talk a little bit about Bruno exit. That has been going on for the last 8 weeks now. Mr. Ornstein isn't the only. Excuse me, isn't the only media journalist, transfer journalist who's been talking about the exit of Mr. Bruno Guimarães out of Newcastle. And there have been tons of stuff from the likes of your Ben Jacobs, your Brazilian media outlets, all those guys. And so it's been closely monitored, closely followed and talked about. Newcastle, it seems like Newcastle journalists have been doing their best impression of Millwall. It's us against them. I don't know if Lee Ryder just posted. I don't know how long, if he's still got that post up where he said, what did he say? That he said, obviously almost he's come out saying, hey, Mr. Bruno's about to go, and Lee Ryder still followed up with a post saying nothing's been agreed, nothing's happened. Earlier, I think it was a couple of days ago, I made a quote tweet of around Keith Downey, and God bless Keith Downey. There's a amount of stick he's got, especially when he said, there isn't any talk about medical on Monday, and it never happened on Monday. But whatever, it doesn't seem to matter anymore. But I quote tweeted him and I said, I don't know if anybody who's watched Game of Thrones, you'll know the famous scene when Jon Snow raises his sword, and there's like a charge of, there's an army charging, an army of cavalry charging at him, and he's like, what are we gonna do? Like, so he still raises a sword, ready to kind of be brought down by this army. But that's what it felt like in terms of hearing Keith Downey. I don't know what Lee Ryder's doing, but we are, and we're doing what we're doing. I don't know if Lee Ryder's still got that up. I don't know as of this minute, right now, if Mr. Bruno Guimarães is on his way. I might do a couple of checks here and there. But we have Mr. Ornstein explaining to us here. Arsenal nearing agreement. This is a good thing. That's why I got my drink here. Goodness gracious. Right, Arsenal nearing total agreement with Newcastle United to sign Bruno Guimarães. Desire among all parties, I wonder if that means literally all parties, to bring situation to close. Plus, deal now on course for completion. 28-year-old awaiting Newcastle permission to undergo medical and seal Arsenal switch. So this type of Ornstein's very good. He's exceptional, right? He typically writes these. This is I think for most of his posts, in my opinion, right? When he makes a post, it's usually wherever the situation of the transfer is, it's usually a lot more further than what he said. So I think he hedges his bets quite well and wisely. So when he's saying, for instance, in this, so my take is when he's saying to bring to a close, he hasn't gone as far to say fee agreed, right? Which he would say, club to club fee agreed personal terms are agreed, all these type of things. It hasn't gone that far just yet. I'm assuming, this is my assumption, is that from he's got a lot more closer contacts with Arsenal than he does with Newcastle. And from the Arsenal side, especially, and from this super agent Kia, he's getting all of his information from there. Perhaps, I don't know if he's made any inroads of Newcastle. There is some feedback from that side that we're just ironing out the details in terms of the overall fee and everything else. He hasn't mentioned the fee. I know I've seen a few folks in the chat talking about it. He hasn't mentioned the fee. My assumption, like I said, is it's drawing very, very, very close. And there's probably a couple dots to cross, I's to whatever, I's to T's, I's to cross, something to do. So I's to dot to I's, T's to cross, something like that. So finalities to do essentially in the deal itself. Now, before I go to the chat, here's what I will say about Bruno. Fantastic captain for us for the past 5 years. He was there. Let's not forget, he was there when he joined the club when we were second from bottom, not won a game in 14, 15 games. We broke all sorts of records at the time. Not even Derby County managed to get up to that high and not win. But he joined us and he helped turn that boat around. People were laughing at us, saying we're going to be the richest club in the championship and all this other stuff. But he joined the club, he helped against these type of odds, he turned things around, and not only did we finish 11th that season, but that form carried on to the second season and we got into the Champions League. I think we reached the final, the semi-final for the League Cup that season as well. This was followed up 2 years later when we got into the Champions League yet again. And we also won the League Cup, of which he was the club captain, together with Kieran Trippier as well. So it's been absolutely phenomenal for us. Also from some lean years in between where we had no trap, players coming in, big injuries. He was one of the guys that held, who stayed and continued to fight for the club. So for me, he is very much the best foreign buy in my lifetime for Newcastle United. Yes, there is a tiny, tiny smidgen in his record with the with some of the dealings of this transfer window, going to Ornstein and saying, "Hey, let them know that I'm leaving." Hiring Kia and all these type of things. Now, I understand the Arsenal fans, football fans, and everybody else would be like, this is what happens with football. Your project is dead. This, that, and the other. He's got to leave. He's got to do what he can. Fine, whatever. But regardless of the fact, he could have done better in that situation, in my opinion. But overall, he is where he is. He's done what he's done. In terms of for the club and everything else, he's been absolutely phenomenal for us. All right, let's get to the chats before we move on with the rest of the show. James says, excuse me, still don't know the price. I'm just hoping it's above 90 million, or I'll prefer them to wait for the Real Madrid offer that is moving for. Do you think that Madrid are going to move for Bruno at this stage? That'll be something incredible. I'll be surprised if I think he's pledged his elite. I'll be surprised. Honestly, I'll be surprised. It'd be something mad, insane, but I wouldn't say no to it if it happened. Good to see my man Johannes here. Finally, he says finally about Bruno. I assume. Right? Let me know. But God bless you. Good to see you. New to the show. I don't know. Is it new to the show? The I don't even. I say you're a bot. I know the bot Mayo. I don't know if you're a bot or what, but that's what it says on your thing. I don't know if that's what it means. But God bless you, whether you're a bot or not. Welcome to the show. He says there are two types of clubs in the world. Okay, a transactional and a family type. At NUFC, a transactional and a family type. So that's the two clubs, okay? NUFC has tried to be the latter, the family type, okay, where fans hope players coming through could never, in big capital letters, see themselves anywhere else. Yeah, I don't know. Sure, perhaps some have. I don't know if you think that's just Newcastle fans. I think that's any club fans. I've seen Liverpool fans burn Trent Alexander shirts. I've seen Arsenal fans go ballistic for Van Persie when he left. I've seen, fans of all clubs. I'm just naming clubs on the top of my head. All clubs have fans, including myself, who have been who uh, who would not want to see their players move on, especially if they've grown attached to them and that really love them. Like it's I don't know if that's meant to be a put down. I have no idea. But like I said earlier in the show, Bruno was there when we were second from bottom. So and he kind of turned things around. So I don't see it as a negative or I look like a weaker person or I support a lesser club or whatever by admitting that no, he was a fantastic player. Like honestly, it was brilliant for us. So whether we're a transactional or whether a family club, I don't know. I just love my club. Jonah says it would be funny if we wins more trophies without Bruno. He wants to win more trophies, so is Isak. We'll see. We've got a lot in terms of. It's good that we're positive in terms of going forward, and we're going to be talking about that the impact and the change that Newcastle need to make. We need to go from. We absolutely need to make sure that we are in a position to win trophies and to climb up the league. Absolutely. My man, Life of Frollo, good to see you, sir. God bless you. Says Lee Ryder is in Spain at La Manga. Oh, is he actually there? Jeez. Are you, Tommy? Are you banned? I know you would. I know you're a serious guy, but like, is it? Because at this stage, some of the stuff that our journalists are doing, when people give me the information, I don't know if it's banter or if it's actually or if it's actually true of what's happening. So you just have to clarify that for me. All right, let's give this. Cadiz are winning 4-0 with Antonio. Good. Johanna says 80 million. We're the one who got his best years. He had a phenomenal time at Newcastle. He had an absolutely phenomenal time at Newcastle. It was absolutely brilliant for us. James says it's just not enough. I would expect around. James, you know Bruno is he's the second most expensive 28-plus-year-old. That's what I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's the Premier League or the world, but it's like the second most expensive 28-year-old in the world. Like, I think that's not too bad. I mean, for me, I think that's pretty good going. The price. Rumor said 80, but it could be plus add-ons will be 90. Yeah, I've already seen some Arsenal journalists like this is no transfer windows. They take a whole new meaning. They're like, yes, it's 80, but Leon get 20%. Therefore, Newcastle only get 75 million of Newcastle. It's so petty, and I've been part of the pettiness too. So I'm not like sitting up from my high chair and saying, "Oh, look at you, petty so and so's." But it's beginning to is maybe I got to that stage where now it's not so serious. It's just funny. Lion Point, God bless you, says if 80 million is the price and he goes, it's wild that we sold him for less than Tonali and slightly more than Gordon. Big ups. I think that's a very interesting point. My initial response being less than Tonali because number one, Tottenham were willing to pay that 100 million. Tottenham were the only club that were willing to pay 100 million. So it's more. It's talking more about how desperate Tottenham were rather than what Tonali's actual price was. I was watching a Tottenham channel today. I'm not going to say which one. And they were saying, literally, we all know, this is what they said amongst the group, we all know that Tonali isn't a £100 million player. So it's good that they're on that page. And in terms of Gordon, I think because Gordon was going to Barcelona and because outside of the Premier League, clubs can't afford anything higher, And what it did for Newcastle was ensure that we didn't sell to another rival club in the Premier League. Because at the moment, we've got Tonali at Tottenham, Bruno at Arsenal, potentially, and we've got Mr. Isak at Liverpool. we've got so many X's in our perimeter. Is making life a bit difficult for us. All right, so Johanna says, I think we will play a different system. Oh, sorry, not talking me there. James says that's not a good offer when Madrid was offering 90 million plus 5. Yeah, if that's true, it's a huge offer. But if Bruno doesn't want to go, which I'll be surprised at, but if Bruno doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to go. Lion Point says, I mean, it is what it is. The saga has been more tiresome than the Isaks. And you know what? Look, I don't want to. Okay, I understand why rivals and everybody, even Newcastle fans would say that, Newcastle's recent transfer history, and especially in the news, hasn't been covered in glory. And it's going to sound mad, but this is a much improved transfer window compared to what we did last season. We've got, as soon as people met our value, we didn't play against, so people met our valuation, we sold those players. Gordon out by June the 1st, Tonali out within 2 weeks. This thing with Arsenal dragged on, in my opinion, my humble opinion, because of Arsenal. You went from 50 million to like 65 million to 75 million to now 80 million. It could have been done ages ago, but we are where we are. The bot Moyo says kids have dreams. Bruno may have been committed at a point, but does it make sense for him to be in a £140 a week? Does it make sense for him to be there for £140 a week? If you're saying is he worth more wages? Yeah, absolutely. And if Newcastle could, we'd pay him. We've got the money to do it, but unfortunately, the financial restrictions do not enable us to do that. David Venture says Newcastle United strategic transformation represents one of the most ambitious and sophisticated institution building projects in contemporary football. I love that. Fantastic. Let me know if you can, David, what's led you to that conclusion. Johanna says, I bet Bruno will kiss the Arsenal badge this season. Of course he would. Of course. Like Van Persie kissed his badge, Arsenal badge, before going to Man United. David Bates is the 5-pillar ecosystem. Dortmund recruitment model. I've heard someone talk about this. A multi-club network, world-class training facilities, new stadium development. I don't know if you'd already answered. That's phenomenal. If you got a source for this, because I did hear someone talking about the Dortmund, it might be something I do for a future show, actually. Let me start this, I remember. Thank you for that, David. James is here. James says, because they got the press conference coming up in 2 days. You're talking to someone else, I think. What's going on every prison tour? David says, and transport connectivity addresses the structural constraints of financial regulations while positioning the club for sustainable long-term success. I do believe that's happening. Right, give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get back into the show. And Coney says, Bruno ruined his legacy, in my opinion, by agitating for a move away when the club most needed him during the rebuild. I see where you're coming from. What you're saying. I think maybe because I spoke about it earlier, I did say there's a little bit of a smidgen in his record at Newcastle. I don't begrudge him because, yeah, I'm sure we've all looked for better jobs. For instance, we were at a job and then a post of where we had the skills and experience and it paid more. We went for it. We did it. And I'm sure whatever companies or whatever that we was with at the time could have done with us a little bit longer, but we still left. And I think that's how Bruno sees it. Although a little bit more, I know he's probably a bit more attached, but he wants to win trophies. And at the moment, if you're looking at the perception of where things are at, and it's not just the perception, it's fact. It's fact because Arsenal are current Premier League champions. He's hoping to add to that trophy haul. So, but we'll see. We'll see if the grass is greener. Big up to my man Adrian. God bless you, sir. Evening all. The bot Mayo says, thanks for reading the earlier comment. I'm not a bot. Sorry, because it says I think it's the bot Mayo. I've had a son at the I have had a son at the academy, a stepson currently there, and nephew currently trialing for Wolves. First 11, phenomenal. You are. I think you are doing a phenomenal job with your kids. Well, absolutely, from father to father, you're doing absolutely incredible work for your kids. And thank you for confirming you're not a bot. I think just the name put me off. I thought I was getting had. Adrian says that 80 including add-ons seems to be fair. So is it 80 including add-ons, or is it add-ons that reach up to 80? Has that been confirmed yet? That's the part I don't know. That's the part. Good to see my man Dempsey here. I can't even say that full name. Geroid, who God bless you. Welcome to the show. He says, who you want to replace him 29 in November and think he suits a Jaissle system. And I don't think he suits Jaissle's system. I think it's going to take 2 players to replace him. In fact, I think it's maybe the players I'm going to be talking about today. I think it's going to take 2 players to replace him in terms of quality. He's such a unique player of what he can do. Creatively, can play from deep, can play in advance, can control the midfield, press resistant, passing range. He's dribbling, ball carrying. He has all these, can move through the phases either through ball carrying or through passing, leadership quality. It's all locked into one player, right? Courtesy of Newcastle United and Eddie Howe development. But I think it's going to take 2 players to be able to do it. Maybe if you hang around, we'll be able, you let me know if the players that we talk about help to maybe fulfill different parts of those situations. Dempsey says, I don't think he will be as big a miss as we think. Exciting times ahead for NUFC. I love that attitude. Who takes captain is a phenomenal question. Because Mr. Jaissle has a 5-man leadership group, or he calls it the council, by the way. I love that word, by the way. That's proper like medieval Game of Thrones, the council. I think it's open. And actually, there's more Newcastle players to leave. We're going to talk about it in a moment. So I think it's open. We're going to come back to that question. Let me star it. That's a phenomenal question. Let me know, guys, who do you think take... Do you know what I would love? Here's what I'll say. Actually, do you know what I would love, Dempsey? Do you know what I would love? To usher in his new era, Mr. Jaissle. And this is gonna be risky, and this is gonna be like, oh, come on, Phil. To usher in the new era under Jaissle for Newcastle United and the growth of everything else, I think they should make Lewis Miley captain. I think they should make Lewis Miley captain, but there will be understanding in the group that there are older heads and older statesmen. But Lewis Miley is the face of the club going forward. That's what I would do. I know it sounds a bit pushing the envelope a little bit. But I think they should make Lewis Miley captain, vice captain Dan Burn or somebody. Who was the first person I'm thinking of? Dan Burn, Botman, Chow, and the council essentially will be obviously the players will be the main guys. Johan says, I think Newcastle will try a combo business model. I heard Como have partnerships with Premier League teams. It could be us, hopefully. Could be. I think we're going to embrace this multi-agent, multi-group. Oh, I've got to start. I've got to move on. Give it another 2 minutes and we'll move on. Should have moved 2 minutes ago. That's fine. This is what we're saying. A full 90. This is what we were saying. A full 90 million will make life easier trying to get these 2 midfielders we need. Agreed. Nemeka, give it to Nemeka in and make captain. I don't believe these Nemeka stories, guys. And usually I don't like to say this right up front. I want to give it time. I only say I don't believe it, but only because from a really, really trusted source, and it's becoming an increasingly trusted source, I've always had it in my mind that Nemeka is going to Liverpool. So Felix Nemeka has always been out of my mind because I just think he's going to Liverpool. So, but it'll be a pleasant surprise. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything like that, but Nemeka is not in my mind in that way. But I would take him for sure. Johan's gone for Hall captain. I like that. I like that. Vice captain Burn, Shaw, J7. I don't know if J7 is going to be here, but I get it. I get it. I like the idea of Mr. Hall. That would be a comeback. James says, I believe it was something to do with Harvey Barnes' contract stating he may be made captain. You're joking. You can't. He's managed to get it in his contract. Dempsey says, I can't believe. I hope that's not true. Dempsey says, do you think Miley needs a full season first? That's why it's a risk, Dempsey. That's all I can say. That's why it's a risk. That is why it's a risk. You're right. Everything you're saying, Dempsey, is correct. That's why I'm saying I'm pushing the envelope here. That's why I'm saying I'm pushing the envelope. Johan says Lameko wants Champions League. Yeah, he's going to get that with Liverpool. Adrian says, I hope we buy our new captain. Ooh, we buy our new captain. Who have you got in mind? The J7 leaving is a false rumor. Okay, let's see. All right, so look, we're going to move on from Bruno, but do feel free to continue to comment, post about him. Obviously, it's a big day all round. Let me just double check my X account, because I can just imagine I half want to do it, half don't want to do it, because I'm like, what if it's I've done all these scouting reports, and if I hear something massive, well, what can you do? By the way, I literally just remember we've got a new goalkeeper. This Mr. Hornycheck as well. So we'll talk about him if I can get it in. All right, so that's it. So a couple things before we do the scouting reports. We've got the Jacobs. Let me know what you want to talk about. We've got the Jacob Murphy X. I want to talk about Jacob Murphy. Hadj Moussa potential as well. We've talked about him on the show. And obviously we've got Mr. Luka Sucic, who's going to be part of our transfer stuff anyway. Transfer stuff, scouting report. Let's do Jacob Murphy. We'll merge Hadj Moussa and then we'll get onto the scouting reports. Okay, cool. James says horny. Absolutely. All right, so Jacob Murphy. Let's get this here. Jacob Murphy. Right now, trusted source, Mr. Santi JM, is a big source. Reliable source. Very reliable. And this isn't the first time we're hearing this as well. Make sure you guys can see this. Can you guys see this? Hold on, let me see. How's this looking? How is this looking? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so anyhow, the Jaissle, Matthias Jaissle, is that on Thursday? When's the announcement going to be for Jaissle? I don't even know. When is it going to be? And folks, big up to you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. God bless you all. All right. Jacob Murphy. Everton have begun negotiations with Newcastle to sign Jacob Murphy. Now, again, I think not too dissimilar to what I said about Ornstein with Santi. When they say Everton have begun negotiations with Newcastle, I think it's a lot more further than what they've said. I personally believe, without any sources, anybody telling me, because we've had this information before leading up to Jacob Murphy and interest in everything else, I wouldn't be surprised, for instance, if personal terms are already agreed. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was some broad agreement between both clubs around the fee, because it's not, with all due respect, it's not 80 million, 90 million Bruno Guimarães, 100 million Tonali. It's a smaller fee. I would imagine somewhere between 5 to 10 million, probably 5 million, something along those lines. Let me know, guys, if you know if it's a little bit more. But why it's important to mention is not just because obviously another great servant of the club. He was actually here before Bruno, if you guys remember. He was here under Rafa Benitez. I can't remember if he was in the championship with us. He was. He went to the championship with us. And we're talking about captains earlier on. Well, we're selling our experience. And this goes back to the wider question around lots of experience going out the door, quality and experience in Bruno, in Gordon, in Tonali. We've talked about that a little bit before, quite a lot actually before. But more experience going out the door with Mr. Jacob Murphy. But again, this is the stuff that we talked about going forward since January, February, where I personally didn't know it was going to be this aggressive. But if you guys remember, Jacob Murphy's got 2 years left on his contract. He's like, how old is Jacob Murphy? He's in his 30s, right? So Jacob Murphy's, I think, is in his 30s. And I think as part of that new policy, we knew they were going to bring our average age down, which was around 28, 29. Before this transfer window, our average age was around 28, 29. We were the second oldest club in the Premier League, right? And you guys know I've been doing from a rivals lens, covering teams extensively, right? And literally every team we've covered so far, Villa, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, City, Brighton, are all, the average ages are between 24 to 26. Newcastle United are roughly 3-4 years, or were 3-4 years older, 3-4 years older than all the other clubs and teams that we've covered. So this is a big reduction. Even if you look at Sturm Bamba, 18 and 20 compared to Tonali and Bruno, 29 or 28 and 26. Hornicek, 23 years old. Pope, it's like 35 or something. Torre, who we bought, 20 years old. Gordon's 25 years old. So a big reduction in terms of age going forward and experience going out. Unfortunately, some of it, like I said, is quality and experience. And like I said, I've heard you guys talk about and mention how it's just a rumor around Joe Linton, but Joe Linton is in the same bracket as Jacob Murphy, right? He too is in his 30s or heading to his 30s, right? He too's got 2-year contract left. And by the way, Eddie Howe, who was his protector in chief, who was chief backer, is no longer here. Jaissle is a new manager. He's creating a new leadership group, right? This is a really new dawn for Newcastle. So I don't think there'll be the same sentiment necessarily to keep your Jacobs, to keep your Joe Lintons. The only challenge maybe to that is we did it for Barnes. Barnes had 2 years left, and Barnes is like, what, 28, 29 years old as well? I can't remember any of these guys' ages. The only difference I think for Barnes is he's also been providing quality, and I think maybe it would have been a little bit too much. It would have been a bit too much to sell both Barnes and Gordon in the same transfer window. So let me know what you think about that. Again, very encouraging to see like nearly 40 people in the chat. Guys, let me know how many likes we've got. Have we broken 20 yet? Let me know if we've broken 20. If it's your first time, if you just want to see if you're a rival and you're just here to see if there'll be like Newcastle tears, you're welcome. God bless you. No matter what you're here for, hopefully you're enjoying it. No matter what you're doing, you could be on the shift, you could be driving to work, you probably might be just using the sound of my voice to get yourself to sleep, or you're just enjoying the show. Welcome, God bless you, and great to have you. Neil Weller, I don't know if you're first time to the show, actually my first time remembering you, but great to have you. God bless you. So Matthias Jaissle, yes, I've got to pronounce the name properly. Matthias Jaissle got big things ahead. I believe that. I do believe that. For Lewis Hall, make him the new captain. That'll be. Someone else said that. That'll be, like I said, a Lewis Hall or Lewis Miley. If you made them captain, guys, if he made them captain, that would be massive. Make him the new captain. Keep all the endless waffle about him going to Man United. Uh, got got two new goalkeepers. Exactly. I need to mention. There's all this information. I forgot to mention Hornicek. I'll do that actually before we get into it. James, thanks for reminding me, Neil. James says, with Dutch media, they're suggesting that it's nearly done, could be with us very soon. Is that Mr. Hadj Moussa? Ah, yeah, that's moved on far. Well, it makes sense. Jacob Murphy going, Hadj Moussa plays on the right. So that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. There's also rumours that Toure will go on the right as well with Hadj Moussa. Elanga will be playing from the left. And we're going to end up looking for, alongside Barnes, because I think because the coach likes to have his forwards inverted. So let's see. Should be before the press conference now. Okay. All right. So Paul Coverley, welcome to the show. God bless you. Says Bruno is 29 this year. If we get 80 million, that's great. But it's phenomenal business. As long as we spend it on the squad, perhaps two Premier League experienced players in to help the new young guys. That's good. Wow, I wouldn't be averse to that at all. Couple more. James says, excuse me, I'm sure I sent you this one for Jacob Murphy. You probably did. Thanks, James. I think you did. Johanna says the players will play different tactics and style. Finally, we will see different. we will see different tactics. Other than the 4-3-3 after 4 or 5 years, you're going to see a whole different. You're going to see a lot, and we're going to have to be patient because you're going to see some mistakes too, guys. We're going to see some deadly mistakes. You have to be prepared for. We might see some mistakes where you're thinking, "Rod, did we hire the right guy?" I'm in my mind and everything else. I'm ready for it. it's the coach is new to the league. There's tons of players we've got players that are new to senior football or like Premier League senior football. So be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready. Joe Linton. We've been talking about Joe Linton linked to Saudi. Will he? Won't he? I think it's a good move. Hornicek's 24. When we bought Pope, and I was showing of this, we initially bought Pope. Pope was 30, right? So we've got a whole different strategy, and that's Torre. All the players that we bought are younger than the players that we bought when we first bought them. Adrian says, I won't buy into talk of squad revolution until Marcus. I'm with you, Adrian. Set Monk, God bless you. I don't know if it's your first time to the show. First time seeing your name, but God bless you. Welcome to the show. He says it's a new dawn for you guys. Up to you what you do with it going forwards. Well, I think we'll definitely take our grab the opportunity with both hands. We've done it 5 years ago. We'll do it again, I'm sure. David Veitch, but thank you, sir. David Veitch says, "Yep, Lewis Miley would be perfect as our new captain, and Lewis Hall as the vice captain." I'll be pushing the envelope. Olu, my man, Olu is here. I know I'm doing the right things in life when my man Olu is here. Guys, it's actually incredible. Give my man Olu a big hello. Welcome, sir. God bless you. He says, Doug time. He says, Doug time at the Emirates. Let's get it. After all these years of this and thugged out Newcastle, now you put the thuggery home. Enjoy it. Seth Monk says your new manager is good, very adaptable. You know what, Seth Monk? That's exactly what I've been. And the quotes I've got from him, which is going to bring tears to some Toon fans. He said that I play 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, and he said it's an actual quote. It says, but the formation doesn't matter. He said the formation doesn't matter. So you're gonna see. Keep saying, guys, I'm excited, but you're gonna see some wild. This guy is gonna risk it all in some games. You have to be ready. All right. So that's Jacob Murphy. Continue if you guys want. If you got, excuse me, anything more to say about Jacob Murphy, Bruno? Oh, just give me 1 minute, guys. I was expecting a delivery. Give me one minute. I'll be back. Talk amongst yourselves. Pick up and takeaways. Absolutely. Had to do it. Had to do it. Had to do it, man. All right. So we talked about Jacob Murphy. We talked about Bruno Guimarães. Feel free to continue to posting, commenting on these guys. We will move on. I wanted to catch up on something, didn't I? Horny check. That's what I want to talk about. But first, actually, before we get into horny check, Hadj Moussa. There was other information on Hadj Moussa, who is the potential. It's actually a good. What do you call it? What do you call it, guys? It's a good pivot to Hadj Moussa because Hadj Moussa also plays on the right. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? He also plays on the right and is obviously the potential replacement for Mr. Jacob Murphy. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? I wish it was takeaways, by the way, no. It was just the old family shopping. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. Brilliant. Okay, so this is from Algerian football, actually. I know that you guys have mentioned Dutch media sources. In fact, let me see if these are. Oh, jeez. Who did he get it from? I want to get a better source. NUFC Bible. Who did NUFC Bible get it from? I thought I had a better source. Let me know, guys, who your sources are, because was it a Dutch source? I'm gonna have to touch El Hadj Moussa. I know that it's closer. I know that it's in a better. Am I still? No, I was worried. I thought I was muted still. Let me see. Hadj Moussa. Hadj Moussa. That's Jacob Murphy. Oh, this is the. I think this is what you guys are talking about. The Holland media outlet. Yeah, here we go. This is the right one. So let me put this up. Okay, so this is from Got to close my door. Sorry, give me 1 minute, guys. I got my door open. Everything's going off. But it's a Holland or Netherlands media outlet. But I have been seeing it from Algerian sources and stuff like that. I wish I bookmarked them. Okay, so let's get with it. So it's from DZ Foot, 1 million followers, huge. Ah, yeah. So it's gone. It's not Holland. This says leading Algerian pure football player, Algerian football news since 1999. So it's Algerian football news. Obviously, our man is Nigerian, so it is the Algerian news media outlet. Fantastic, right? So obviously, you guys know how I feel about media outlets from from the players that we're targeting. If if someone from Holland, then you got Holland media outlets, Algerian media outlets, Nigerian media outlets. I always like to read them because obviously they're local news. They often have the background on these things. Okay, so DZ Foot say that the Algerian international Anis Hadj Moussa is reportedly nearing a move to Newcastle, where a 5-year contract with a particularly high salary. I like how they put it. A particularly high salary awaits him. I don't know if they've got any more on that. I don't think there's anything there. Well, someone said that the salary is rumored to be around 120k, which is a high salary for a player that's never played in the Premier League before. So that is interesting to observe. But with Jacob Murphy or Bruno Guimarães going, we're going to talk about the potential replacements in a moment. Now we've obviously got Jacob Murphy going. I think that's a lot more further. Not further than Bruno's, but I think it's a lot. Jacob Murphy's transfer in itself is a lot more further than I think it's been reported. So I think Mr. Moussa will be coming over. I'm surprised if it is 120k, guys. I'll honestly be surprised if he's earned 120k. Because not only are we trying to lower the age, we're trying to lower the wage, and to give a guy 120k who's never played in England in the Premier League, not even in the French league or the Bundesliga, both of whom are more closer in quality and intensity, particularly the French league to the Premier League, to give this guy 120k out the just out the bag like that, I think is a little bit too much, too quick. But let me know what you guys think. We did do a scouting review of him not too long ago, a scouting report. We won't do it on this show because we've got somebody else. But let's have a quick look of him on the old YouTube. Let's do some Dennis Wise scouting and see where that, if to give people a little bit of a reminder on him. I don't know if you guys, this is fascinating because you guys know that I love to watch. I love Brazil Scout. They do the compilation videos. I'm pretty sure it's one of my first times seeing someone's compilation video being 17 minutes long. Now, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe you've seen other videos that are 17 minutes long, but this is the first time I've seen a 17-minute long one. I don't know if they've fallen in love with the player, if that says more about him or it says more about them. Are they trying a new approach? But I've never seen one for 17 minutes, the 17 minutes long, right? So he's 24 years old, plays for Feyenoord, Algerian international, a left-footed right winger. For me, he's more of an inverted winger who can be a wide playmaker, plays a lot more, likes to drift inside, which is exactly why Mr. Matthias Jaissle wants him. That's exactly one of the players. Ronaldinho, I understand. Thanks, Aaron. God bless you. Ronaldinho. I understand Ronaldinho. I don't know. But Hadj or Moussa or Hadj shares the same length of video, which surprised me. So let's have a look at him. Left-footed right winger who loves to play on the inside, exactly up the street for Mr. Matthias Jaissle. So let's. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen here. So you see him picking up on the right, inverted left, loves to drift in inside of that lovely reverse part. Oh, well, inside pass. Oh, fantastic finish with the foot. Very, very left footed there. Open up his body really, really well though. I can't tell how tall he is. Why is that important? Because it's quite different to what we're used to in terms of Newcastle penalty there. Lovely dribble and feint. Showing a bit of his passing range. You see that? You see that part here? He loves to be in the inside like that. And this is what Mr. Jaissle wants to do. He wants to play centrally like this as well, which is right up Mr. Moussa Street. Again, look at him in the central areas, picking up the ball. This is exact, and you can imagine this would be Usoda next to him or Elanga. This is exactly what Mr. Jaissle wants to be doing. Have these type of central areas. Lovely, lovely free ball, by the way. Unlucky for the player. Again, lovely threaded pass to the other player. And if he can build a relationship with your Usolas, your Elangas, get to know their path, they get to, their movement, they get to know, what makes it easier for him in terms of to make them off the right pass. You can get a really, really lovely chop back there. He uses right foot there for a change. That was good. Whoa. Stole them down the river there. Lovely take, nutmegs again. So lots of tricks, lots of plays. Obviously, him being Algerian, playing out on the right, having that dribbling ability. Lots of comparisons to Riyad Mahrez. Whether he lives up to those, we hope he lives up to those type of levels. That'd be phenomenal. But those are huge shoes to fill. But you see him working the right again, cross to the right foot, so he can use his right foot for sure. But he is very left footed, especially with the way he opens up his body. Unlucky there. Especially the way he opens up his body. Lovely take, shoots. Oh, goodness gracious. I love it if he does that on the opening day of the season against Liverpool. Beautiful strike. Beautiful strike. So that's the reminder, guys. We did do a scouting report on him before. Let me know what you think. With Jacob Murphy out the door, or very close to being out the door, Mr. Moussa is next up. Okay, so excuse me. Set Monk says, "I'm an Arsenal fan. I could have guessed that, Monk. I could have guessed. I just love the competition Newcastle brings. I love that you said that. I love that you said that because there's been too much of this. I don't know, some of it's banter, but I feel like some people believe this kind of stuff where they're like, where they're not as open to the competition as like someone like you. So I love that you said that. He says, I think Murphy should not be moved on yet because he's got experience. No, I don't disagree. I do disagree because I think I agree with the idea around experience for sure. I think you're right, right? But Murphy is limited, and Murphy suits more of the 4-3-3 Eddie Howe system. Wide forwards, him on the right, using his right foot. Better with an Isak type of striker who's good at running beyond the lines. It's not necessarily what we're going to have, especially with how Jaissle likes his strikers or even his wingers to play narrow and have the fullbacks out wide. Murphy's no good central. Murphy's no good central. So for the experience part, what you mentioned, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Set Monk. But Newcastle are pushing the envelope. They're taking the risk this season, and they're they're even moving on the order statesman on. Okay. Neil Weller says, nobody said a thing about the 30 million spent on the grounds. Exactly. Exactly. Why would they do that, Neil? Exactly. The new grass and the underground heating, new drying system, the only one in the Premier League. Yeah, for not. Well, apparently the owners have given up and they want to move on, but they're getting sponsorship. Forget the training grounds. Forget the £30 million refurbishment to the stadium. Forget the huge sponsorship deals. Forget the fact that they've put £450 million into our accounts ready for use for the transfer window. Bobby Fairview will attest to that. Forget all of that. Apparently they still want to leave. Nobody's going to talk about that. And even if they did, they wouldn't make the news. James says, I'm sure I heard something saying it was in the hundreds. Oh, I missed that one. 120k for no. Yeah. If that's true, I'll be so shocked. Aaron Bonson says we should get Angelo Stiller and Richard Rios with the Bruno money, get rid of Murphy, Willock, and Joe Linton. I hear you. I'm not overly familiar with Richard Rios. Angelo Stiller is a bit like Marmite for me. The stuff we did a scouting report on him as well. The stuff I love and the stuff where I'm like, oh, he needs a destroyer. If he has a destroyer next to him, he's fine. But out of possession, otherwise, we're on shaky ground. Couple more comments, and then we'll start to do the scouting reports on Mr. Forholdt and Mr. Mr. Sucic, excuse me. James says he is a player that Matthias really wanted in the Saudi league. Exactly. So it's no surprise that we're going for him. Just under 6 foot he is. Thanks for that. 5'9". He's 5'9". Okay. So it's not a typical size winger. More than 30 million. Malcolm Gordon, welcome to the channel. God bless you. This is more than 30 million with that talent. Surely. Yeah, how much is he going to be, guys? Let me know. How much you think we're going to pay for Mr. Moussa? Boris, RIP. Arsenal have been not very good already. Why do they need another one? Oh, I missed that one. I've missed that. Looking to be around 45 million. 45 million. This Moussa guy must be the bee's knees. Andy, I think you're a Liverpool fan. Welcome to the show. It's absolute privilege to have rival fans on the show, just like St. Monk and others. God bless you. Andy says Newcastle United need to sign a class midfielder players. Speaking of midfielders, we're going to talk about them. We're going to do a scouting report on them right now. Who is captain? This is what we're deliberating, Ian McKenna. I've suggested Ian. I've suggested Lewis Miley. Someone else suggested Lewis Hall. You might be thinking, are you kidding me? But I'm saying let's push the boat. Let's risk it. New dawn, new day. That's what I say. A couple more. Aaron says, excuse me. He'll have Bamba next to him. He'll have Bamba. He'll also have the other midfielder we're going to be talking about as well. James says, Richard Rios, you over our age cap to 2025. Yeah, he is. All right, so let's do it. Let's talk about some scouting reports. Now, I forgot which one's first on my list. We're going to be talking about two midfielders. I would love to have both of them, and they're both very, 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 very. They perform different roles. So that's what I suspect, that there's a potential that we go for both of them, not just for one of them. And we spoke earlier about how do you replace Bruno Guimarães? You can't replace Bruno Guimarães, in my opinion. Have you seen Lucas? I said in his nickname. No, let me know him. What did he say? In my opinion, you can't replace Bruno with one player. It's going to take two. And what both these players in Lucas and Froholdt represent is two aspects of Bruno Guimarães. In a sense, I'm not going to try and tie their scouting reports around Bruno Guimarães, but I'm going to be talking about them as individuals. I'm going to be talking about how they fit Matthias Jaissle's system for Newcastle United, and their different roles. And in Lukic here, Lukic has previous experience of playing under Mr. Jaissle in RB Salzburg in the Austrian division, where they won 2 Austrian Bundesligas together. Or is it 1? They definitely won. I think it was 2 because he was there for 2 years. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But he's definitely played under him. So he performed a very similar role to what I think he's going to be doing in this team for Newcastle United, which was he was more of a hybrid advanced 8. But I think for Newcastle, I think Mr. Jaissle is looking for an attacking a number 10 AM. But we know Mr. Jaissle, we all know this with Mr. Jaissle, that it's fluid. He could be anything, right? So let's get into Luka Sucic. Born 8th of September 2002, is 23 years old, right? Croatian senior international, standing at 6'1", main position 6'1". But you'll notice, guys, throughout the scouting report, he plays in his positioning for different teams at different times is quite fluid as well. But mainly, there's very common themes around creativity. Other positions, central midfield, number 8, which Mr. Jaissle likes to play with two advanced 8s and a 6 when he can. Current club, Real Sociedad. Now, I've used a number of sources for this in Total Football Analysis, Breaking the Lines, and Red Bull Salzburg's interview and Data MB for the information in regards to Mr. Sucic himself. We cover a timeline between 2022 to 2026 from RB Salzburg to Real Sociedad. All right, so progression time and the progressive playmaker. This is in phase 1, the creative midfield foundation at Salzburg itself. So Sucic emerged. This is when he would have been 2021. Sucic emerged as one of Red Bull Salzburg's most technically gifted midfielders, combining elite left-footed technique with exceptional vision between the lines, comfortable operating. And what you have to remember why this is important about the left-footed stuff was not only does Mr. Jaissle like to play with inverted wingers, but he also likes to play with inverted midfielders. So what you would find with Mr. Sucic, he played on the right side, the right 8, on the right 8 with his left. Obviously, as a left footer, he played on the right, advanced right 8. And obviously, Mr. Jaissle likes to play centrally, which makes sense. Obviously, you use your left foot to pass the ball centrally rather than having a right footer having to turn himself around to pass centrally. You have to get used to this. This is exactly how we're going to play. A left-footed technique with exceptional vision between the lines, comfortable operating as both an advanced number 8 and number 10. He consistently accelerated attacks through progressive passing rather than individual dribbling. Okay, so you have to look out for that. There's 2 ways of being the creator, through ball carrying or individual dribbling, or passing. Passing is the method of choice for Mr. Sucic. Even at an early age, his intelligence in receiving under pressure and immediately playing forward distinguished him from more conventional attacking midfielders. Okay, so some good foundations there playing for RB Salzburg. He spent 2 years in the Austrian Bundesliga. Okay, so continue to. This is phase 2, vertical progression under Matthias Jaissle. Within Jaissle's aggressive vertical style, Sucic developed into one of Salzburg's primary progression outlets. He was his chief creator. Rather than acting as a traditional number 10, okay, so look out for this, he frequently operated as an advanced 8, linking midfield to attack through intelligent positioning. So he's like he's an advanced conductor, line breaking passes, and progressive carries. Those are the 2 key weapons you're going to see throughout the teams and years that he's played. His technical security allowed Salzburg to transition rapidly from regaining possession into attacking situations while maintaining control of central areas. And that is exactly how Mr. Jaissle likes to play. And that's exactly how I think he plans to use Mr. Sucic. This period represents the clearest tactical blueprint for how Jaissle values Sucic's profile. Phase 3, tactical maturity at Real Sociedad. He had to develop his gameplay. Now Mr. Jaissle's moving on to Saudi Arabia. Mr. Sucic is moving on to Spain. Has moved on to Spain in La Liga. He's had to adapt his style. And this is why I always have these type of debates of people that like to merge different data radars with players. And I always say that that's the wrong way to judge which player is better at what, because they play for different systems in different leagues with different personnel around them. It's going to impact their metrics, and it impacts what happens here, impacts Sucic's metrics as well. I'll show you a little bit later. So moving to La Liga refined Sucic's game. Rather than dominating possession through volume, he became more selective creator within the Real Sociedad's structured positional system. His game evolved towards a higher quality passing decisions, improved positional discipline, greater patience in possession, increased tactical responsibility. Although some metrics declined compared to Salzburg, his creativity remained consistently high, suggesting role adaptation rather than regression. I'll show you what I mean by that. So how he's adapted and how he's changed. I'll get you guys on the old data MB. I didn't have time, unfortunately, to get to post it to copy and paste it onto the same what do you call it, onto the same presentation, unfortunately for you guys. So we have to move around a little bit, but I think it's important enough to show. And even with this data MB, because he plays so different, you have him, data MB breaks it down to midfielders, fullbacks, and he's like in striker, forwards, and central midfielder categories, which measure different metrics. So I had to use that. So this is Sucic. So this is Sucic for Salzburg, 23-24. Sucic for Salzburg. Here we go. So the main thing you see, we're talking, remember, he was playing as an advanced 8 for RB Salzburg, and you can see the key elite points. He's been asked to be the person who progresses the play from defense to attack, right, or from midfield to attack through passing, through progressive passes. You can see there, as well as key passes and ball carrying, and both are very, very, very high at elite levels. Obviously, playing in people were saying it's an Austrian league, but they're in high, and they're consistently high, right? So his progressive passes are both. Where is it? Progressive passes are both in 84, 60. He went from 60 to 84 percentile. And then also very good to elite progressive carries from 78 to 88 percentile, which shows his ability on the ball, as well as key passes. Those are passes that lead to shots. Those are passes that lead to shots. So both at 92 and 98 percentile. Obviously, he's not going to be dueling as much. He's not going to be doing those kind of winning possession as much playing an advanced role. They play quite differently. There is some criticisms in the scouting reports about his dueling. There is some weaknesses and some vulnerabilities in that. But his main thing, and in fact, let me show you his Real Sociedad days, which is in the full. These are different metrics as a forward. So there is some questions around that, but that's why Mr. Jaissle, the different type of players he has around each other, they complement each other's strengths, right? So Mr. Sucic, ball carrying, key passes, progressive passes are the elite things that he does. Where is his Real Madrid? Not Real Madrid. Real Madrid, you know. Real Sociedad days. And in fact, they've got him in Salzburg. They've got him as a forward as well. So he must have played as a forward as well. Let me just look at that one real quick. Can you guys see that? This is him as a forward. So it tests different. So sometimes it's so advanced as playing as a forward. So key passes and assists are quite high. But carrying, crossing, those areas are quite low. Real Sociedad, I think they've got him as a striker, which is weird. Very, very weird to me. But it might be all part of their passing play. Aerials 1. So that's super, super low as a striker. I don't know why they haven't got him in the set, because if you look at his heat map, he's playing more in advanced areas. So that's a bit weird, but it's a bit different. So his main thing is advanced 8, 10, carrier, ball creator, creativity, conductor. That is his main thing. I'm going to go to the chats in a moment. There's one thing I wanted to finish as well whilst we're on Sucic before we look at his highlights. So progressive playmaking we talked about is elite breaking defensive structures through disguised passing and intelligent vertical distributions. Rather than recycling possession, Sucic consistently looks to advance attacks. Elite vision and creativity. One of his defining characteristics is ability to identify runners early and create opportunities through key passes is consistently reflected across both the scouting reports and data MB profile. He's press resistant, operates comfortably under pressure, excellent first touch, body orientation, scanning before receiving, composure in tight spaces, rarely appears rushed in possession. Couple more things, tactical intelligence, left-footed balance, main strengths, elite football intelligence, which is why Mr. Jaissle needs him in advanced areas, progressive passing, chance creation, technical security, tactical flexibility, can play in the 8, 10, as well as an advanced playmaker. We've seen that in his record. So final verdict before we go to the chat. Luka Sucic profiles as an elite progressive Luka Sucic profiles as an elite progression playmaker whose intelligence, technical quality, and creativity make him an outstanding tactical fit for Matthias Jaissle's football. Unlike Bruno Guimarães, Sucic would not replace Newcastle's primary controller or defensive organizer. Instead, so he's not going to be there to do what Bruno does. He's not going to be controlling the game or defensive organizer. He would provide a different dimension as the creative hub between midfield and attack. That's what he used to do. Remember, Mr. Jaissle's not interested in too much control. So everything that we talked about reviewing Newcastle before about being able to control the chaos, Mr. Jaissle, throw that out the window. Mr. Jaissle isn't overly he's not overly concerned about all of that. He wants to attack, and young Sucic helps him do that. So within Jaissle's projected 4-2-3-1, 4-3-2-1, Sucic projects most naturally as the number 10, receiving between the lines, accelerating attacks through progressive passing, and combining with runners ahead of him. His previous experience under Jaissle significantly reduces the tactical adaptation required, while his continued development at Real Sociedad has added greater maturity and positional discipline to an already technical profile. Overall verdict: if Victor Froholdt, who we're going to talk about, is the engine of Newcastle next midfield, Luka Sucic has the attributes to become the architect. I love that. So let me know what you guys think before we go to the, get a couple in there. Can't get everybody, unfortunately. Good to see my man Wobo Jog. God bless you. Good to see folks talking amongst themselves. Oh, Aaron says put still against Sucic, mate, and Bruno G. He's got miles better stats. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I do not like to do that because they play for different teams and different leagues and different profiles. Newcastle, for instance, really struggled this season, as you know. They finished 12th. I don't know how Sociedad and others did. So I unless the players, I do it, but I don't really get much from it. If players play in the same team together, it's a better comparison for me. So I don't necessarily get too much from it. It does say that he can play up, he can play players up. Yeah. Big up to my man, Register Kev. Always good to see Register Kev, man. Good to see. God bless you, sir. How long have we known each other, Register Kev, now? Maybe 3-4 years? Good to see you, sir. Good to see. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. James says, I think a conductor of a Bruno or Miley will help him push up the ball. Also defends well, but it will be up as a Bamba to support the defense, and he'll be the man that will push up the ball. Exactly. Register Cut says, I'm glad this Bruno. Yeah, so am I, honestly. It didn't have to be a saga. I'm telling you that for free. Ian says, Froholdt, one young player of the year and player of the last season. I don't know much about him. Boy, that's very good, though. I didn't know that, though. I didn't realize that. Core P9 says, how Bazuma Toure and the Lanka fits the new Jaissle as well. There is a little bit of a concern around that because, for me anyway, because they are wingers. Elanga, though, I think could play as a forward. I think Toure will go right with Hadj Moussa, and because he likes for them to be inverted. How he is in tight space and everything else, it remains to be seen. Let's see if he can adapt. Hopefully, he can. Richard Kev says, since whenever Mo did that calling has been super long. It has. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's phenomenal. All right, so let's have a quick look on Mr. Sucic. I wonder if I want to look at him when he was in Salzburg, or do we want to look at him when he was in what do you call it? In what am I looking for? In Real Sociedad. Oh, you guys can't see this. I'm putting this up here. And I have to admit, when I heard we were, especially via ITKs, when I was hearing that we're linked to Sucic, I kept on looking at Peter Sucic rather than Luka Sucic. So there's like two different Sucics we're looking at, one for Sociedad and one for RB Leipzig. Let's look at the most recent of what we've got. We'll have to jump around a little bit, maybe. You guys can see that. Brilliant. Hey, what color is this? This color's putting me off. Someone was doing a little bit too much. Nah, man. This quality is poor. Let me put this quality here. Season 2024. This is a year ago. Okay, so big up Silver Skill Plus. We'll give them a like. So complete season 2024. So he would have still been at Salzburg here under Jaissle, I think it is, or maybe not. Let's have a look at him anyway. The conductor, the playmaker. So here's him picking up the ball in central areas. Good first touch there. Powerful runner. Rides the challenges really, really well. You can see his range of passing there. This is why he's such a creative hub, creative outlet there. Lovely lovely way he received the ball there as well. Decent striker of the ball. He gets a lot of time though. That's the only thing playing for Salzburg here. But good stuff. I might have to see if I can get a Real Sociedad one because he gets a lot. There's a lot of space here. Yeah, we see that with his left foot in the central area. That's exactly what Mr. Jaissle wants. Lovely take again. That's him with the passing there, driving out into the next phase. Again, carrying the ball, looking up, using this passing, lovely chip pass forward. That's the type of creativity Mr. Jaissle is looking for from him. Lovely turn on lovely 360 turn there again. And you can see him in those areas as well, picking up again in the central areas. Let me see if I can get let me know what you guys think. I want to see if I can get him for playing for Sociedad. I want to get as much up to date of him. Goals and highlights for Sociedad. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. 6'1". Yeah, strong on the carry as well. He is about 6'1". He's big. Right, lots of dribbling there, getting past his man. Very, very kind of good on his feet there. I like the fact that you can do both the passing and the ball carrying as well. You've seen a lot of dribbling from him as well. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how he plays alongside our midfielders. Showing himself to be a good striker of the ball as well. Superb. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, with the chip pass there with his left foot. Is he too left? Is he so left footed they can't use his right? That's my only concern. And he's got a number 10 shirt playing for them. So let me know what you guys think before we talk about Mr. Forholdt. Stop screen. I mean, this is new. This is very, very new in terms of how we play. The players, the league will be new, but he's a bit more experienced than some of the players that we got. 2-3 years at Bundesliga, a year or so in Spain. So he's kind of moved up the ranks pretty well. Aaron says, excuse me. Aaron says if he plays high press, I'd be looking for a new striker. I agree. I'll be looking for a new striker because Wissa and Voltemade isn't the answer, and Osola not good enough just yet. I think Osola will be ideal for him, but I hear what you're saying, definitely. I think he needs more of a target man striker. People might not like this, but I think Liam Delap would be right up his street. James says he is the one that scored against England. I don't know if I remember that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nah, good catch there, James. I wonder if Matthias will stay at Newcastle. If Matthias stay with Newcastle, standing height over 6 feet. I think that'll be interesting as well. James. Ian says, Did you see Chelsea sign that lad Bellingham slapped him? Oh, Barcola. I imagine he's in for a rough time in the Premier League. Absolutely. Wobblejog says, I'm only here for the proto youngster. Come on, let's get on with it. Big up Wobblejog. James says he's not going to leave Real Madrid. Maybe. Okay, to my Vinicius. Okay. Let me get a drink, guys. I'm loose. I need to get another drink. I usually need like a liter of water or something. Where is the drink? Oh, I need a drink. I need a drink. Jeez, so up and down today. Okay. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get on to Mr. Forholdt. Who's a different type of player. The engine promises to be the engine. Okay, so let me just see what we can get here. All right, so maybe that's going to be in the way a little bit. Right, so another player that we're very, very highly linked to via Portuguese outlets as well. Player introduction, Mr. Victor Mao Froholdt, 20 years old, will be 21 in February. Denmark is his birthplace in Valensbroek. He's a Dane, 6'1", though he looks taller than 6'1" if you see him on the compilations. Main position is central midfielder, number 8. Other positions he can take up as an attacking midfielder or number 10, or a deep line structure midfielder, or as a number 6, playing for Porto. The scouting data we got from Tactical Football Analysis and Scouting App Technical Index. We've covered a timeline mainly this year, which is 2025-2026 Porto integration and European breakthrough under Farioli Porto team. Right, so Scouting App Analysis, this is them looking at him. Deep structural adaptability. They look at him. So there's two different scouting reports of the same year. So it's good to get their kind of two different perspectives, two different points of view. The Scouting App Analysis. So a deep structural adaptability and technical security analysis. Emerging as a tactical revelation, Froholdt stood out for his immense mental maturity and technical security under pressure. Rather than relying on purely aggressive individual action, he offered constant availability in initial build-up phases. So from the first phase, demonstrating a clean first touch and disciplined positioning. He proved capable of dropping deep to anchor the central block or pushing into intermediate spaces, spaces to link defense with attack. So he did it that mainly through his positioning, connecting and receiving the ball from deep line areas as well. So tactical line breaking system and progression. So fully integrated into Francesco Farioli's high control build-up system, which is what Newcastle were before. At FC Porto, Froholdt became an essential operational tool. He refined his off-the-ball mechanics, specifically utilizing horizontal shifts to open up direct central passing lanes from the back line to the central forwards. He was a key pattern demonstrated against the top opposition, such as Sporting Lisbon. His positioning helped turn deep possession into fluid line-breaking progression. Senior European and international profile. So analysis, Froholdt's progress at club level propelled him directly into Denmark's senior national setup, valued for his exceptional tactical diligence, endurance, and ability to execute precise pressing triggers. His high floor profile positions him as one of Europe's premier highly functional modern central midfielders. So you can already hear it's very different to Mr. The architect, Mr. Sucic. This one is more intensity, winning the ball, carrying the ball. It's probably more of an Eddie Howe type of player in that sense. Key scouting attributes: positional and tactical intelligence, reads game flows with exceptional clarity. He constantly adjusts his shape depending on team demands, acting as a stabilizing structural pivot or dropping between the lines to facilitate ball progression. Horizontal line breaking movement, highly skilled at sliding laterally across the pitch to draw opposition markers out of position, creating clean vertical passing lanes. So he, through his movement, is how he helps the team to build up through the phase by taking players out of their position. Press resistance and technical security operates with impressive calm under opposition pressure. He possesses a reliable first touch and prefers economical high percentage passing combinations to maintain team momentum. So just 1-2s or next guy next to you, and he moves up, and he, being Froholdt, moves up or moves vertically or moves in a way that puts whoever's marking him out of position. Mr. Sucic is different, where he uses passing, uses ball carrying to advance the play. Disciplined defending and pressing cues. He understands pressing triggers and defensive spacing extremely well, so he's an intelligent player. Rather than diving into reckless duels, he relies on smart positional cover and timing to maintain collective balance. So pros and cons. He's got a higher tactical IQ. We talked about that. Pressing diligence, build-up utility, and mental composure. Plays with remarkable calmness and maturity. Weaknesses: raw physical power, not purely a dominant physical presence, relies more on timing than brute strength. I don't know why that's a weakness though. Direct goal output, needs to continue expanding his direct goal scoring, which can develop over time. A lot of the weaknesses are things that can develop. Explosive burst, lacks explosive burst over short distances, preferring steady long distance mobility. There's a player who reminds me of that. I can't get into my mind who it is just yet. Aerial dual reach, can further develop his timing and leverage in high aerial duels. And being 6'1", and I think he's taller than that, that certain area is going to have to develop, especially in the Premier League. Anyway, the verdict. Victor Froholdt is an exceptionally intelligent modern central midfielder whose high footballing IQ and technical consistency make him an invaluable asset for possession-oriented systems, which is not what Jaissle has, which is interesting. While he continues to develop his physical leverage, but I think because he's in Portugal, they're assuming that. Anyway, while he continues to develop his physical leverage and direct final third threat, his elite positional awareness, line breaking capabilities, and press resistance distribution tag him as a cornerstone midfield talent. So in a Jaissle system, where you've got the three midfielders, for instance, you have the likes of a Bamba in the number 6, or Lewis Miley in the number 6, I can imagine, with a Froholdt as a number 8, covering those central areas, with Mr. Sucic playing as a number 10, connecting with the attack with the forwards that are up front. And I agree, I forgot who said it, that I am under the impression that we need another forward, we need another attacker. But let me know what you guys think of Mr. Froholdt. While I'm going to go to the chats in a moment, I'm just looking for his compilation. I like the profile of both players. I can see, and I know that you can't cry over spilt milk, I get that, but I can see why Newcastle was so desperate to have Yohan Monzambi, because he's very, very, very good at this kind of, as a number 10, he would suit Newcastle down, and Mr. Jaissle's Newcastle down to a fine T. But that's not taking anything away from Sucic, who's still a fine number 10. Oh, what did I just do there? Here we go. Is a fine number 10. So let me zoom that in a little bit. and then I'll see what you guys are saying. Big up JM. Is it JM Scouting that are doing this? Let me double check. Is it JM Scouting? FS Scouting. Excuse me, guys. Big up FS Scouting. Give them a click. Give them a like. It's not easy putting these videos together. Let me know, guys. Have we Jug? Somebody tell me, have we broken 20 likes? Let me know. We've been really had a really good turnout today. God bless you all, guys. Pro clubs. I don't think we'll. And welcome to the show, Pro clubs. I don't know if it's your first time, but if it is, God bless you. You're most welcome. Pro clubs. Baller says, I don't think we'll sign Froholdt as we still need a few more other midfield players, and Froholdt's release clause possibly could be a risk considering he's only 20. You're right, Pro clubs. I just think the whole transfer approach this season is a risk, but it's a risk they have to take in order to change the club and everything else. I think, though, if they can, for me, the transfer fee isn't a big deal because when it comes to SCR, it's all about amortization. And when it comes to the actual contracts themselves. So, say for instance, for the sake of argument, I'll give a round number because my maths isn't great. But say the transfer fee is 70 million, the release clause is 70 million, and we get a contract 5 years plus one type of thing. You can divide that actual transfer fee into the 5-6 years, so it'll be about 12 million. About 12 million per year. Add a little bit of wages or agent fees, it will end up being about 15 million a year. That's how I look on the SCR. Now, that's still very expensive. You're absolutely right about that, right? But what in terms of amortization, but we've already removed the wages of Mr. Bruno Guimarães. You can imagine his book value is all the profit that we're going to get from his book value. Bruno has already been at the club for 5 years, right? So whatever we pay over that 40 million, I can only imagine there's about 5-10 million of that left. And we've sold him for 80 million. So the book value is around 70-75. I'm just thinking from the top of my head. It won't be too dissimilar to Gordon, though a little bit less. Tonali as well, 100 million. So we've got a lot more space for players like this. But yes, is it expensive? Yes. Is it a risk? Yes. Can we do it? And is it worthwhile? Well, you guys decide. We're going to look at this compilation in a minute. I have a feeling without seeing 90 minutes of him, it could be. Ian says, I can see it's my Vinny here. All right. Aaron says, the lap wouldn't make sense for 40 million. He scored 1 goal last season. Could get Nunes on a free. He's quicker, stronger, and scores not prolific though. I think we have to give, and we're going to have to give our young players, we're going to have a lot of young players a chance. They're going to have fantastic years or they're going to have poor years. Even they're going to have brilliant weeks or super poor weeks. We're going to have to decide if they're class players or not. Delap had a phenomenal year with Ipswich. It didn't work out for him in Chelsea, but he's a good target man who can hold up the ball and lick up the play and be a focal point, which is what exactly Mr. Jaissle's system needs, I think. Okay, so a couple more chats. Wobbledog says US Arsenal fans need to stay. Us Arsenal fans need to stay grounded. It's Madrid that we're trying. Okay, what's happening? Is there some movement with Vinny, my man Trevor, my brother from another mother? God bless you. He says, I don't think the Madrids are trying to talk. Have been ongoing for a while. Oh, okay. So there must be some Vinny movement. Anthony Jackson says we need 2 defenders as well. We definitely need, yes. So if you mean a fullback and a centre back, I agree. Absolutely. We've got a lot to buy. Anthony, let me know if you're from the US. You've got a very American name. Sucic. James says Sucic and someone defensive. Only worry about him is the worry about it. This is the 80 million euros is a bit over the top for a 22-year-old. I know it's release clause and there's nothing much we can do about it. It's a risk. There's no way around it. It's a risk. You guys remember buying Isak for 70 million? After he scored only 5 goals at Real Sociedad that season? It's that type of risk, baby. It's that type of risk. Wobotok says, yes, this kid is supposed to be a lifelong friend of Skelly. Fair enough to whoever gets him. Who? Froholdt. That's an interesting. How did they become friends? Anthony Jackson says, what's happening with Wissa then? Because I have doubts about him. I have doubts about him too. But it looks like he's staying. I think Wilson would love to find him a club for sure. But at this moment, it sounds like he's staying. A couple more and we'll get into the compilation itself. Wobojog says, in my opinion, I think Newcastle are the Arteta second season stage where you moved on most of your older squad players and depending more on your younger talent. Risky, maybe, but the payoff is in a few years. And I think it's where we had, and you're right about this, Wobojog, also where we had the cart before the horse. Well, and I keep on saying this, where we bought big expensive players or big-ish expensive players for where we were at the time for our revenue. Our performance in the field outstripped what our performance was going off the field, hence the cart before the horse. We've got Champions Leagues and got Premier Leagues through that. Not Premier League, excuse me, the Champions League qualifications and League Cup from that, but it wasn't sustainable. Now the horse is now ahead of the cart. Younger players, cheaper, younger, sponsorship deals, club development off the field, everything gets in this order, but it's had to reset. Aaron says, well spotted though. Aaron says, mate, Delap's a striker. He's there to score goals. That's his job. He is, and I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I'm just talking about the other aspects, and I think he will be scoring goals, by the way, in a Jaissle system where you literally have a number 10 behind him. You'll have fullbacks also running in behind. You'll have inverted wingers. He's going to have a lot of creativity up ahead of him. He can also run in behind. He can collect the ball. I use the hold-up play and link-up play and being a focal point because that's what Ivan Toney was doing for Jaissle in Saudi Arabia, and he still scored lots and lots of goals. He went to England. He went to the World Cup as well as a result of it. Ian says, we really need to rein in our expectations for next season. I'm not sure our fan base will. I'm going to wait. Obviously, I'm going to be planning to see what happens. I'm going to wait before making any judgments until the end of the transfer window. We'll see where we're at. Did you say you need a fullback? Yes, for the as cover. I've never seen Man United. Actually, I have seen Man United fans this thirsty and this hungry. We've got Arsenal fans here. You guys are offering Skelly, aren't you? What's happening with Lewis Hall? He's nothing as far as I'm saying. I'm hoping he's staying. Hopefully we make him captain. Just even if we get him to stay, I hope we make him captain. Let's do a couple more. Register Kev says, I know you have a lot of power, Philip. I like the beginning of the sentence. Am I gonna like the rest of this comment? Big up, Register. Tell Newcastle board not to drag out Hall with us. You got to be joking. You got to be joking. Trevor Smith says, I feel bad for the Magpies. Don't feel bad for us. I don't like the stuff about people feeling bad, feeling so. I'm not asking. I hope no one else is asking for us to feel bad. That's the worst thing you can have. If they love us, let them love us. If they hate us, let them hate us. If some of them are celebrating what seems to be our demise, it only shows their fear. But feeling sorry for I don't like it. I feel to have all the players leaving this one season and the manager is not good, but with the money invested, well, Europe may be on the same. Why is the manager not good? We're going to find out if he's good, to be honest. We are going to find out. But I hear how it looks from the outside, Trevor. I see it. What would you if so Skelly? I'm out. No, I know Register Kev, man. Much respect to you, sir. Trevor says they have to sell Skelly if Vinny comes in to balance the books. Man are dreaming about Vinny, man. Aaron says we're getting mentioned with Salinas from over in Spain, but Man United are looking for him as well. Let Man United have him. They need him more than us. James says, yes, send them over to Man United, Aaron. And finally, Aaron Jackson, everyone keeps saying we've lost all our good players, but last season they were all terrible. That is true. That is very, very true. Anthony, let me know if you're from America or not. Just got a very American name. All right, so let's do it. Let's have a compilation. Let's have old Dennis Wise or Mr. Froholdt. They say he's 6'1". He looks taller than 6'1" to me. He looks taller than 6'1" to me. Oh, fantastic finish there. You can see the pressing, by the way, right from the start of this. He didn't. I think it was way earlier. But this is what Mr. Jaissle is going to want him to do. It's this pressing right at the front here. They dondled on, what's the word? They dallied on this, and it cost them. I don't know who the guys in yellow are, but fantastic finish with his left foot as well. With his left foot, which is interesting. With his left foot, see him a lot in the penalty box, finishing shots off there. Remember, Porto are far more of a possession team rather than a transition team. Love to dominate the box, like to dominate every aspect of the pitch if they can. Lots of him doing a lot of box crashing. He's FS, the guys that put his compilation together, have got him as a box-to-box midfielder. Lovely cut back there. Finish with the left. They're focusing on his finish and everything else, which isn't too bad there. Jeez. Up high there. 20 years old, by the way. 1 year at Porto? Again, lots of stuff with him finishing. You'd almost think he's a striker by the stuff they're showing him doing. But you can imagine, okay, this is for Denmark as well. Again, finish. Have they got him as a shot? I don't mind seeing all this scoring stuff. Let me check his goal scoring record while you guys watch this. They got me into this guy, bro. I didn't mention his goal scoring, and they got his goal scoring. Let me know. Let me see what he's got. What did he get this season? Not too bad. 25-26 season, 7 goals, 7 assists. 7 goals, 7 assists. So no wonder they're showing it. 7 goals, 7 assists. Lovely. That's how he's getting his assists. All that box crashing there. I think there was also in the preseason, there was some fantastic goal that he scored that people were like wowing at as well. Lovely cut back there. Great finish. He comes as, he's always, a lot of the compilations are of him winning that ball up high or intercepting passes, showing great awareness there as well. Fantastic. Fast, powerful, moves the ball well, draws a lot of players towards him. Unlucky there as well. Again, strength, power. They said that he doesn't have a burst of pace, but on the scouting report, but I don't know, man. Wow, lovely shuffle there. He seems pretty. I'm not saying that he's no killing Mbappe, but he doesn't seem to. Lovely shuffle again. He loves the old shuffle, doesn't he? And you can see that this is the part they talked about how he likes to move the ball. You just saw it there. It's that back to goal, 1-2 pass into the next phase. Moving into the space. That's exactly what he loves to do. Lovely take there. Yeah, this burst of pace thing that they said that he doesn't have, I think he's got it. Again, lovely shuffle, through ball, number 8. Riding challenges really, really well. He's got that youthful enthusiasm about him as well. Oof. It's taking out 2-3 players to bring him down every time. Again, in the Premier League, where it's going to be a lot more intense, it's going to be interesting to see how his decision making and things like that. But let's see one more. Get you guys' opinions. Lovely take. Yeah, look at that, closing out the passes. Fantastic. All right, guys. So let me know what you guys think of Mr. Froholdt, Mr. Sucic. Very, very, very interesting. Player. I like him. But with all these guys that we're bringing in, there is. Let me just quickly check that there is risk. There is absolute risk because they're young, they're from different leagues, they have a certain amount of experience, but they got high ceilings. I thought there was a I thought there was some news here of a transfer. Let me just double check. Bergval. So let me know what you guys think of Mr. Froholdt and Sucic. What do you guys know about the article? It's quite a new source. Got 42k followers. He's saying exclusive. Newcastle United actively considering a second offer to Tottenham for Lucas Bergval. Understand package prepared in region of 54 million. Oh, jeez. 50 more million for the 20-year-old. Personal terms agreed in principle. Amazing. Newcastle want to assess all options before making decisions. Other targets include Nemeka and Froholdt, we've talked about as well. Now, 54 million is cheaper than Froholdt, and they're the same age. But what Mr. Bergval has is a year in the Premier League over Froholdt. So that's an interesting one. But let me know what you guys think. I can see the more I learn about Mr. Jaissle, the more and more I'm beginning to see his vision for the team. A lot going on for him. Sorry, guys. Just double checking. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. So let's see what you guys said in the chat. And before we close off, who's taking Froholdt? Who's taking Bergval? Who's taking Froholdt? Let me know. What you guys? He said he was born and bred in Newcastle. Who? Froholdt? Trevor Smith. Newcastle is my second team. My cousin plays for Newcastle. No, I know. You wish that, yeah. You guys don't know. Trevor's like, but for a guy who doesn't support Newcastle, he's putting more money into Newcastle than some Newcastle fans. I'm telling you. If you know, you know. Oh, big up Jackson. You're a Geordie. Man, that's big up to you, sir. Great. Like, okay, thank you for clarifying that. Anthony, it just made me Anthony Jackson. That's what just made me think of like America. James says, oh, talking about Hall, it doesn't mean anything. I was born by Essex, but I support Newcastle, Spurs, and West Ham. But my post of a football match, I was over St. James. I was over St. James and Moussa Jody. She's from Gosforth. Big up to you, Anthony Jackson. Not posh though. No. I mean like American. American. Let me see what you guys are saying about Mr. I know it's just me, says James, but I'm worried about spending that much money. I think I would prefer Sucic, but that's because he has the relationship between the new manager. I think we're going to get two midfielders, possibly three. I think Willock and possibly Joe Linton go. So I think both Froholdt and Sucic, I don't think it's either or. I think we need both profiles, in my opinion, the architect and the engineer. Yeah, they only told the nice part of the story, but we hope to add the scouting reports to hopefully tell us the ugly bits as well, Trevor. Ian says, but without doubt, all of our signings so far are technically gifted. True. Trevor says, Bergvall. Do you know what? I agree, Trevor. I agree. I do think Bergvall will be a good sign. I've seen a lot of people not being too excited about it, but I think he'd be a good signing. Every player, they are, some more than others. Yeah. Liverpool made contact with Ibrahim and Baye. Pro Club says, could be a slight possibility Bergvall could play in the 10. Yes, he has that ability. He has that ability. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Aaron's gone for Froholdt over Bergvall. Interesting. Trevor Smith says, issues, everyone knows you got money, so no player is going to be cheap. That is true. That is true. Maybe that's why we just have to press the button. Anthony Jackson says, I've got a good feeling we're going to do well this season. I like that. I like that. He wants Keith Smith. Anthony Jackson wants Keith Smith. A couple more and we'll round up. James says, I think you're looking for around 70 million for him. It's ridiculous. I don't think they want to lose them, to be honest. They want to, okay, talking to someone else, I think. Johan says, I think we'll sign just 1 centimeter. I can't so replace everyone in the window. I can see it, Johan. Because I can still see, because Besiktas were close to getting Willock. They just haven't met our transfer fee. They will, though. I think they will. I think Willock will go. And there's a chance. I think we're going to get more. I think we're going to get more. All right, guys. We've had a phenomenal show. It's been an incredible day and night, even overall, guys. We've covered the Bruno exit, everything that encompasses, the media and everything around it, but also obviously his impending medical and all these type of things, what it's going to mean. Then we moved on talking about Jacob Murphy possible exit as well, and the potential replacement in Mr. Hadj Moussa. Then we did a scouting report. We also covered a little bit on we didn't cover Hornicek, who we've got a new number 1, guys. We've got a new number 1 goalkeeper, by the way, which is crazy. Please do on your way out, if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you can. We did a scouting report on Mr. Forholdt and on Mr. Sucic, 2 up-and-coming midfielders, phenomenal. I would take them. It's a new era. It's a new day for Newcastle United. I probably lean towards Bergvall over Forholdt because I know Bergvall a little bit more. But it's good to get you guys' take on things as well. You guys have been phenomenal. And just remember that, listen, like, all of this is part of the process. It's part of what we're, in terms of the club, all that's encompassing in it. We've got to embrace whatever's happening. We've got no choice, really, but embrace it and know that, and know and believe that we're evolving and that we're growing as well. So make sure you have a good evening, good morning, good day, whatever it is, wherever you are. As always, folks, make sure you look after yourselves, and God bless you all. Take care.
Brilliant from Sham. And now Murphy can take on the shot. Fabian Schär.